Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. It's Chuck here. We get a list of about 20 properties, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. You watched lots of football, ate lots of good food, and hung out with the family. And if you're celebrating Eid today, happy Eid as well. We've got about 20 properties, and so we're going to start off with this one on Hutchinson. Lindbrook model, 1,500 square feet, hardwood on both floors. Not my favorite kitchen layout. It does have a finished basement, which I don't believe there's any photos of. I think if you have a finished basement, one of the 9 photos should be devoted to it for sure. Got an offer on the weekend. I didn't think it was a fantastic deal at $450, but someone obviously did. So Elliott Crescent, 469 bungalow, 50 by 120 lots. You get a nice big driveway here, and it looks clean and tidy, which is one of the check boxes you look for. Cosmetic stuff like kitchens, flooring, not usually a big deal. Paint. But you want to make sure you're getting a home that has good bones, and that means windows, roof, furnace, AC. Those are your 4 big ticket items that really have very low return when you do have to fix them. Whereas the kitchen, bathroom, flooring, paint, light fixtures, high return on investment, much better use of money if you are going to come in and do some work. Babcock is it's a nice location close to Main Street. So you're right by James Snow, between basically north of Main Street between James Snow and Thompson. You've got your siding on the outside. This is around 1,800 square feet. There's no finished basement here, but they've got some hardwood floors. The terracotta is a little bit old school. We don't see as much of that being offered by the builders in 2013. Bit of a balcony there. They're holding back on offers till tonight. It really could go either way. I think that the siding might hold a couple people back, but it's a pretty good value for the size of this home. Duncan Lane is $474, $997, and it's more than 2,000 square feet. Townhouse, so it is joined on the side, but it also has a double garage. So it has some of those. It has the garage, which you don't usually see unless you get into the detached, but it's got the townhouse. There's a little courtyard right here. So it's kind of a mix of styles. It looks like they've done a good job inside. The crown moldings, the pot lights. You've got your center island there in the kitchen. And you've got your jacuzzi tub with the jets. And there's your backyard, basically. And you might run into some issues with Dairy Road and the train tracks nearby. So if you're looking for quiet, it may not be perfectly quiet, but I do think it's an interesting home. They're hard to price because there's just not many of them that sell. And I think for the right person, it's a nice little property, easy to maintain. Moreland's $475, got an offer on the weekend, 120 by 64, so it's on the corner of Moreland's. It's on the inside corner, doesn't back onto dairy or anything like that. What I like about this home, I've talked about in previous episodes, is that if you have an older relative, they can come in through the garage, separate door inside, and then they've got lots of light here. It doesn't feel like they're in a cavern in the underground. They actually feel connected to the outside a little bit. And so it can be an ideal place if you've got older relatives. There's no inside shots here. The upstairs is mostly a very traditional bungalow style, smaller bedrooms, smaller closets, that kind of stuff. Although the master looks like it has an ensuite bathroom, which is something that you don't always find in these types of homes. Mander Place, $476.5. It's linked by the foundation. You can tell by how it looks on the outside. Living, dining in the front, kitchen and family room. And then you've got 4 bedrooms here. And I think for the 4 bedrooms, for this being around the $475 mark, they should do pretty well. The value comes more from the fact that it's 1,900 square feet than whether or not there's 4 bedrooms or 3. But there is a slight premium, or there's a slightly bigger audience that comes from having 4 just in case someone needs them. But there are some people that prefer 3 larger rooms over 4 slightly smaller rooms. So Landsborough, right on the corner of Landsborough and Tremaine. So it's nice in the sense that you get some good escarpment views, but there's traffic lights right in front of this house and it's busy. And I think Tremaine's only going to continue to get busier as we look at the future, where there's going to be the Tremaine 401 exit. The kitchen, one of the things to always look at is don't put stuff on top of your cabinets because it looks cluttered in the photos. I've just seen this is about 1930 square feet. I've seen homes that are a little bit bigger, a little bit better location. You've got a wider yard here, which is nice. but I've just seen more value when we're getting up to the higher fours for semi-detached than where this one is. I'd be very cautious with that location. Grand Key is $499. 1,600 square foot Mattamy home. It's a spirit home, no hardwood floors. They've done a nice job with the kitchen and a bit of HDR photography. The dining room's in the front of the house. Now, these models, the finished basement, I think, is certainly a good value thing. Very similar model to this one, sold recently at around the 480 mark without the finished basement. We saw a private sale that was backing onto green space that sold with the first digit being a 5, which I was blown away by. Maybe it was furnished. So there's been some good sales recently for this model. I could see them selling in the 490 to 5 range, but even that, historically, this model's even sold without a finished basement for like 450, 455 recently. So it's interesting. It depends on what set of numbers you look at. Obviously, the seller's looking at the high numbers. The buyer's going to look at the low numbers. We've got this one on Trudeau, 1820 square feet plus a finished basement. There's no photos here. I would say that the feedback on this model is that it's got a great first floor. The master bedroom, there's complaints that there's not enough space in the closet. There's not enough closet space is what people generally say. There is a workaround. So if you have this model or if you're interested in buying this, send me an email. I'll give you a little trick that one of my clients did to open it up. So Silver Court 529 Thistle Bay model, 2237 square feet. Separate living and dining. They open this up with 2 little pass-through windows, which is nice to keep a little bit more open concept, but you can still put a couch beside that wall, because sometimes too open concept, you just lose some of that ability to create boundaries in a room. 4 bedrooms upstairs, huge ensuite, and we have seen this home sell, or this model sell, for around this price in the past. You start getting up to 530, you start bumping up against the double car garages, and so just keep in mind it's still and always will be a single car garage. Joyce Boulevard is 539, a little bit high. A lot of homes in this area are at 460, 470, and yeah, they need some work, and you could budget out and say, how much did this kitchen cost? If you're smart about it, you can do a kitchen for between 10 and 20. The scraped hardwood floors, you can lose people. The whole thing is with a flipped home, you got to stay right in baseline where you know people are going to like it. You can't have those things where you're dividing your audience. And so my concern is the floors maybe wouldn't catch everybody. You've got a pool in the back, which is good. I don't know. It's 4 bedrooms. Let's see what happens. I know they spent a lot of money on the home. I don't know if there's a lot of profit there on the flip for that one. McLaughlin is 579. It's a finished basement here, and I believe this home is not very big. It looks like one of the models that's less than 2,000 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms upstairs. I like the fact there's a fireplace downstairs, so you've got some pretty good sized windows in the basement too, and you've got your green space behind, which is nice. So there are some things going for this one. Take the green space out and say this home with a finished basement, is it around 560 or so? Possibly. So I definitely don't think they're that far off. It's a Cost Corp home too. Yates is 619, about 25 and change square feet. It's a nice floor plan, a wood lily. The only complaint with this one is that you've got your staggered garage here. That's your main floor entrance. It's actually a very clever use of the mirror here. So that's the mirror looking out over this way, and you can see the garage is actually on this side. A couple stairs walking up, and then you've got a curved staircase. What happens with the garage is that when you push it forward, you add another room on your main floor. So you've got kitchen, family, plus you have living dining here too. So there's 4 rooms set up in a grid pattern, and there's nice sized rooms upstairs as well. I'm a big fan of this layout. Again, if you can live with the staggered garage, everything else looks like it fits in place on this one. And they've done some nice upgrades. We've got Gallant here, one of Milton's finest streets. You've got an unbelievable main floor renovation. They've opened everything up, which is the complaint most people have about Old Milton, is that, hey, it's a little too closed concept. This one here, you've got a nice center island. You've got a place for an office. Breakfast bar here, walk out right to the backyard, which is really an extension of the living space. Gas fireplace here. master bedroom with the ensuite, and then a good tree-lined street. When you drive down the street, you really feel like you're secluded, and there's a lot of access to the trails close by too. So $687,900 looks like a great price. So we've got Cousins Terrace at $749,000, and so it's a Vanderwood. It's 3053 square feet plus a finished basement, very nicely finished. We've talked about the fact that there's a lot of competition for around this size at around $700,000. The finished basement helps, but I think that the finishes and the upgrades that these guys have done, I could definitely see them going for around this price. I think if they were up too high in the sevens, which I believe they tried, they're going to get shot down, but I think around $750 is a go zone for those guys. Meadowland is $995, so it's right within the Campbellville area. And so we've got, here's the house right here. There's your on-ramp for the 401. It's just really close. That's the thing. Wheelahan, Crawford, that kind of stuff, Stokes Trail. You got to be really careful how close you are. This is one of the closest homes in the entire subdivision to that 401. And it's going to be tricky to combat that, because people move out to the country and the estate properties because they want quiet, right? So that's really the goal. They're going to get feedback about it for sure. I like a lot of things. I like the built-in bookshelves here. The fact that you have deer there, to me, I don't know if that's appealing, but maybe for somebody it is. And then you've got a nice looking pool there. And I love the sort of Cape Cod look of this one here with the dormers. You find some very interesting effects upstairs with that. I just think it's a tricky location. We got this one on Guelph Line here at 1.15. And so it's been listed on and off since about 2009. And a lot of equestrian stuff here. The links, the photos here don't really have a lot of inside shots, and there's actually some nice angles inside. You can see there's some round areas. There's some areas where there's some peak ceilings, and 5 bedrooms. There's 2 on the main floor and then 3 upstairs, or sorry, 3 on the main floor, 2 upstairs, and it's on about 13 acres of land. Let's see what happens. They're down a bit on price. It's really one of those ones that you'd want to see in person. We've got 3 more on the Oakville Milton. Patterson is a Cropside end unit, about 1370 square feet, and so you've got some hardwood on a diagonal. The kitchen's a little bit more basic, but they've got the pantry here. People like this home because you have the 2 bathrooms upstairs. There's your master ensuite right there. You've got your front room, plus they have a finished basement. Overall, I'd say this one's a winner, mostly because of the end unit plus the finished basement. Base on this one is about $375, $380, and you get the premiums for those 2 things. They're in the right spot. Be careful with the age of the roofs here, because you're getting a home that's probably 12 or 13 years old, and many of the homes in that neighborhood have already replaced everything. So we've got Diceway here. $519 is the price. And so it's a smaller double car garage. It's like 16 something square feet, just over 1,600. They've done some nice upgrades inside. It's only a 3 bedroom plus a loft upstairs. I don't think they have the juice for this kind of price for $519. We've seen a couple of these listed, not in the ideal locations, but a little bit under $500,000. I think they're going to have a tough time with that. Closer to 5 would give them a lot more success. And this one on Challenor is around the same size too, so at $525, $990. Not really any hardwood here. I just think it's going to be tricky for these guys. Same kind of thing, 3 bedrooms and almost the same size. It's just neither one for me is looking like it's in the range where you'd see these properties called the go zone. So anyway, so that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call, and we'd be glad to help you search for a home or even to sell your own home. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.